there, friends. So we are here looking at component 1, written commentary for the MOC process, particularly looking at question number 7. Explain how you have ensured fairness and equity of access and promoted appreciation of diversity among the students and the learning community. Now, there's a lot of chatter around this. I don't understand. I don't know what this means. My particular certification doesn't have a standard just allotted for this, but other people do. So where do I even begin with this? Well, I just want to, first of all, show you that I'm going to showcase EAYA math. That's middle school, high school mathematics, MC Gen, and EAYA science today. It's just 3 that I pulled up, and I just want to show you where I would begin to try to figure out how to make sure I had information in my writing that matched what the national board says should be happening in your classroom. So let's look at MC Gen first. They're pretty easy because MC Gen has its own standard called Respect for Diversity, standard number 2. Now, what I did here is I went to the little magnifying glass. I want everybody to see me. As long as you're in your PDF, you can go to the magnifying glass here, open it up, and over and put whatever word you want. So for me, I put the word diversity there, and I got 32 different places the National Board has written in the standards diversity for MC Gen. Now, I could change this very easily to equity. And notice when it comes to equity, I only see 1 in the standards that are relative to MC Gen. That doesn't mean it's not important at all. It just means when you are looking through your standards, this little magnifying glass will help you know where to go. Notice when I put in fairness, I'm around building a community of learners. And then it looks like there's 2 of those. So then around fairness, I'm in one of the pillars for the National Board with teachers think systematically about their practice and learn from experience. So they're putting fairness and respect for diversity and appreciation of cultural differences here. So notice that when it comes to the 5 core propositions, or the pillars, as I call them, you're going to see a lot of what the National Board considers important around fairness, equity, and access and diversity here in the 5 core propositions. So if you simply read that part of your standards first, you'll be like, I know this is, yes, absolutely. I understand what they're saying. And then go deeper, as we did with diversity, and here in let's keep going until we get to that standard, to respect for diversity, for ideas of what that might look like in your classroom. And so you can read that and say, oh yes, when it comes to PG number 1, this is what I've done. When it comes to PG number 2, this is what I've done. In my videotape lesson, these are the things that I could actually showcase in my videotape lesson. Now, if we go over to EA Science and we do the exact same thing, we find equity. We're going to find 29 times we find equity over here in science, but we only found it once in MC Gen, right? But we found 32 instances of diversity in MC Gen. Now, do you see why you can't get a straightforward answer from anybody about what it is and what it should be? Because your standards are also very different. Also here in EAYA Science, you have your very own standard 8, diversity, fairness, equity, and ethics. Ethics is a part of that. So read through your 5 core propositions, read through standard 8 if you're in this area, and really think, what could I annotate out in the margins here of these standards that I have done? Those are the types of things you want to attach to your PGE. And then here we go with EAYA math. This one is so much harder because in this case, there really isn't a standard, a specific standard for people in EAYA. Diversity is found 7 times, mostly found inside the 5 core propositions here and inside of the beginnings of the standards plus commitment to mathematics learning all students. So really in knowledge of students, you're seeing diversity. So you really should know your students there in math. We put equity in, again, it's only coming up twice here. And again, back to standard 1. Standard 1 seems to be the big standard for you math people, commitment to diverse learners. You keep looking at that entire thing, you're going to find information you need. Let's look at fairness. Fairness comes up 3 times here for you. And again, it's mostly coming up inside of things outside of a particular standard. So it's all the forward stuff that you really need to look at in EAYA math. Bottom line here, what I want you to know is that you understand what equity, fairness, and diversity looks like because you're dealing with it every single day in your classroom now. It's part of the buzzwords about everything that's going on with social emotional learning, making sure that you're differentiating, making sure that the students have equitable access, making sure that they appreciate diverse opinions of others, and that you're scaffolding to meet their needs. You cannot have an equitable, fair, and diverse classroom if you don't know your students. Bottom line, you have to know them to teach them where they're at. Low floor, high ceiling, doesn't matter where they're at. You know them, and your environment is set up to ripen their knowledge and skills beyond where it's at now. I hope this helps. Keep going. Good luck with this portfolio. Bye now.